The differentiator here is a borrowing capacity and a finance strategy. They're two different things. We've said that property is a game of finance, not just a game of bricks and mortar. And if you don't have a finance strategy in place, don't buy just for FOMO reasons. It is such a significant part of it that you cannot skimp here at all, Ben.
No, Bryce. I mean, in terms of, like, I can give you some examples around rent vesting versus owner occupier, right? In a very simple context, if you get rent on top of your income, that constitutes the overall income that you've got coming in, and that allows you to borrow more. So ultimately, if you're ever buying for owner occupied purposes, you might be able to borrow, say, $500,000. But if you're going to buy an investment property, you can actually borrow $650,000 or $700,000 based on the fact that you've got this rental income coming in. Now, the banks do some throttling or reduced assumptions on the percentage of rent that you're going to receive down to 70%, or in some cases 80% of the rent that's going to be received. This is all part of the decision making that you're doing around what strategy, right? So that's one simple example of being able to borrow more. Others could be, if you're on a yield strategy or an income strategy, you might buy two lower valued properties because you need some cash cows. And with those lower borrowing properties, you've got a 5 or a 6% yield, as opposed to a 2% or 2.5% yield on what we would consider scarce capital growth assets. So it is about combining those ideas and then working out where your borrowings can allow you to go. And that's strategy and structure around lending. It's not just a simple, I've gone onto your website and I've looked at a borrowing calculator and it says I can borrow X. The other part of that story for us is about shopping your lending. We have countless examples where some lender A will basically allow you to borrow a higher amount, which based on our modelings can also work from a cash flow point of view. So it's still responsible, but other banks and lenders and credit unions and all that might be really conservative. There might be a $200,000 or $100,000 difference in terms of the allowance of borrowing power. All of those things are considerations that need due diligence and due consideration. So I think from that point of view, that's all we're trying to highlight here is if you don't do that preparation work, you don't know what you don't know. We also talk about offsets and the benefits of those types of things. We've done that plenty of times through other episodes. So you can just get a sense of, if you don't have a strategy, a finance strategy that's well formed, you could be missing out on opportunity cost.